Gentlemen, welcome to a capsule selection. Your boy has been tagged in a video selection scenario. I could do nothing but comply. Today we're going to talk about the date night scenarios. Now I know just a couple days back I released a nice little video concept about seductive date night fragrances. This is going to be a totally different concept in which I want to give forth to you that we don't always need to be seductive. Sometimes putting forward a great fragrance that brings a lot of intrigue and interest does not have to be sweet and seductive. Oftentimes they do comply to that type of scenario, but these fragrances here I'm about to introduce to you guys are something that has been in rotation for years for some fragrances, and some they're quite new to the collection. I'm eager to get that out to you as well. So if this sounds like the type of content you think that you'll enjoy, pull up a seat, pour a glass, and of course, let's enhance. Ladies and gentlemen, welcome to The Dry Down, the lifestyle channel where we as enthusiasts aspire to enhance and elevate our olfactive sensory experiences through the understanding of the different aromas, facets, and nuances of scent, cigars, and wines. I'm your host, Chris. Welcome to today's experience. We're going to dive into a list, fellas. Often enough, we bring out these seductive date night fragrances, and some are just intriguing enough to become alluring. I want to introduce you to a few fragrances. As stated, they're going to give you a lot of allure and attraction, while also sometimes being a bit laid back and subdued, that you don't always need to reach for the loudest or the sweetest. These fragrances are going to comply to this perfect scenario, and I think that any of these fragrances on this list will get you positive attention. So first off, I want to start off with a fragrance from the house of BDK. In the house of BDK, fragrance is none other than Amber Safrano. Now I know you might have expected to see something like Gris Chanel Extrait or Tobacco Rose, but no one's talking about Amber Safrano. Amber Safrano is a spectacular, warm, spicy, leathery, woody, sweet fragrance that has a lot of character. Master perfumer Kilian put together a fragrance that has this well-rounded. If you like things like I'll put out there like this, if you like fragrances like Rosé No. 2 No. 5, if you like the scent of sweet saffron like Baccarat Rouge 540, what Kilian was able to do with that compound of saffron, that rubbery, leathery style of saffron, was to add olibanum, sweet myrrh, leather, vanilla, and oak wood. The reason that this one is becoming more and more of a shining star for me, because this one takes some of the best of what an oak wood smells like and including that with a very, very beautiful take on a black noir style of leather. For me, Madagascar vanilla can do no wrong when doing a date night scenario, so a lot of these you will see vanilla chords in. But at the end of the day, when you want something that has a bit of intrigue, something that is a sillage trail or sillage trail, nice performing, nothing that's going to inundate the nose of the person around you, but something that's going to be a calling card for you as a signature scent sometimes, Amber Safrano was a perfect fragrance for you to get in touch with. Like I stated, it has leather, woods, fresh spices, warm spices, amber accord in it, a little bit of metallic feel from like the sense of like ganymede. So that's the type of scenario that this fragrance here will go into with spectacular wearability. Once again, BDK's Amber Safrano is the first one. Sweet, cozy, warm, spicy, leathery, perfect for evening out with a nice blazer, perfect for evening out with a leather jacket, perfect for evening out when you want to feel upscale but not overly opulent. Just that region of life where you have to go out. It might be an upscale dinner, and it could be a casual evening out just at a play or a concert. Amber Safrano takes care of that scenario for you. Once again, BDK, Amber Safrano. Next up, ladies and gentlemen, on this list, I'm going to introduce you guys to a warm, spicy fragrance. This is Venia 21 from the Merchant of Venice. This particular scent, done by Jordi Fernandez, I waxed poetic about it on a Connoisseur's Conversation a few weeks back. What you'll tend to love about this one is the warm sweetness of praline, a nice earthy sweet cakey patchouli, a warm seductive sweet oud, and a lot of cinnamon and balsamic touches to this one as well. Vanilla, agagali wood, cinnamon, saffron, sweet, warm, cozy, seductive, one that goes on 4 to 5 sprays, maybe even 6 to 7 if you wanted to protrude and do a bigger sillage trail. But at the end of the day, this particular warm, sexy, spicy fragrance that has a little bit of oud in it as well, very sexy, very compelling to wear. Let me see if I have a scent strip. This is one of those fragrances, man, that the opportunity to get this one is now. If you are looking for a sweet, seductive, masculine leaning gourmand style, but not really gourmand, that goes into that playful, super edible, but just that nice nutty feel of the praline, the sweet accords of that one, phenomenal scent. It's going to wear perfectly well, and you will turn heads and get compliments with this particular scent. Sweet, woody, orange, spicy, cinnamon, balsamic, ambery, patchouli, and then when it dries down ultimately to the sexy, seductive, powdery style of fragrance that has all of those components laying over it, veiling it as a seductive night out scent. Once again, Venia 21 from the house Merchant of Venice. Very seductive scent. Very, very seductive scent. And it smells just damn gorgeous, man. Yes, Venia 21. Next up, ladies and gentlemen, let's talk about the best budget-friendly, ambery, sweet vanilla fragrance that I've come across, particularly in the designer realm. This is Mercedes-Benz Club Black. Fellas, if you've heard what you've heard about this being one of the most seductive, sweet, warm vanilla fragrances that's masculine leaning, has a lot of olebanum, sweet smokiness, along with the vanilla accord that Olivier Cresp used in his fragrances. Master perfumer, once again, takes everyone by storm by giving us a fragrance from an automotive house that just smells phenomenal. It's got benzoin, bergamot, jasmine, olebanum, a nice vanilla accord. It's sweet, it's warm, it's woody, it's smoky, it's slightly powdery, but ultimately it's that sweet, seductive fragrance that carries the amber and vanilla accords across all of other accords in this lineup. This one is a very useful, utilitarian fragrance for those fun nights out. This is Top Golf, this is billiards, this is bowling. Wear this particular scent in those scenarios. I wouldn't wear it in super upscale because it is a little bit playful, more flirtatious. But in those scenarios where you want to wrap your arms around and show her how to putt, you want to wrap your arms around her and show her how to shoot the ball or play the video game in a nice little small intimate moment like that, she's gonna fall in love with this particular scent. And who doesn't like to have fun in a moment like that? And if this is gonna bring you and draw you much closer and have her sniffing you even better, why not go for it? Club Black from Mercedes-Benz is that particular scent. Seductively sweet. Nothing too sweet. So that's the one thing about this too. You're still going to lean masculine. You're still going to lean virile. You're still going to lean to the point, because of the olebanum smokiness, to a point that's intriguing and interesting. But with the vanilla accord that Olivier Cresp loves to use, I look up the accords and then look at what it's actually said to smell like. You're going to see and understand why this one is on this list for beautiful, seductive date nights that just come inclusive with hand in hand walking down the street at the end of the night. Once again, Mercedes-Benz Club Black is a nose snatcher. Get your nose on this one, fellas. It's easy to access, great price point, can't go wrong with it. Trust me, you're going to love this recommendation. Club Black from Mercedes-Benz. Next up, ladies and gentlemen, for the list, we still talking about date night, so of course we're gonna go back to black. We fade to black, back to black. This is the scent for you guys that want to take her back to the room. Back to Black is a sweet, warm honey's fragrance that is seductive, seduction. It carries the sweetest cedar wood and honey accord with the sisters lab in them that just creates that aura around you that just smells of balsamic, resinous opulence, while also being so playful and so jubilant in the way it carries its essence. Cherry is in this one. Just the fruity accords of this one is spectacular as well. Many people have slept on this one lately, but the way this fragrance comes off, if you're into fragrances that are honey tobacco, like the old Mugler fragrance, you don't even have to spray it. It's so powerful. Sweet cardamom, sweet vetiver, sweet olebanum. The labdanum, like I said, is in this, creating this resinous feel to it. Well, ultimately, the honey is mixed with the cedar wood. So you get this sweet, warm, woody, cozy fragrance that just has a lot of almond and cherry and amber and tobacco, and it just comes off so seductive. Now, one thing about this, I can't spray it, it's too powerful. One thing about this particular scent, you have to be ready for one of the sweeter scents when it comes onto the skin as the opening. It dries down subtly, but eventually it does take about an hour, because that sweetness is piped up in this one. The sweet accord with that honey, if you not want to smell like that, you won't like this particular scent. But if you're open to having that sweet accord come across in your skin and pick up her nose, you're gonna enjoy what this does, because it ultimately draws back a lot of the sweetness and becomes more of a tobacco ambery take of a fragrance with that woody sweetness from cedar wood. Back to Back by Killian is a staple over the last 10 years for a reason, because it's one of his most composed fragrances for date night scenarios. He loved what this did. I remember reading an article about what he felt like he would wear on a date night, and it was Back to Black. So once again, House by Killian, sweet honeyed tobacco with a little cherry pipe tobacco essence in there. Reminds you of things like Pure Havane from Terry Mugler, much more elevated, much more spicy, much sweeter, much better in the wood. Ingredients, just overall ingredients. Once again, Back to Black. Take her back to the room. Fellas, get your nose on that. Next up, gentlemen, you want to talk about going out for cocktails. And nothing's off limits. We talking about date nights. You got all kind of scenarios. In this scenario, first you have the top golf playful date. That's the first date. Then you have the steak dinner to see if she's worth the opportunity to give another date to, or see if she's someone you're going to vibe with ultimately. Then you take her to a lounge to see how she goes in that portrayal and setting. That scenario is ultimately, for me, the one where I pull out my boozy fragrance because I want to go to a bar, somewhere where they have tabletop for two, nice little candlelight. You want to spritz on something like the Side Effect from the House of Initio. That's often what I do because it's a head-turning fragrance that has a lot of tobacco, vanilla, leather, rum, and it's ultimately one of the sexiest fragrances that the House of Initio Perfumes has to offer. Side Effect is a pure performer. It does everything that you want a date night scenario to do, especially for those moments where you may even step out on a balcony. You may be in a corridor somewhere soft and quiet. You may be anywhere when it comes to these new age bars and lounges where you want to be intimate, but you still have something of a crowd around you. You want to cut through the crowd. The bustling and bustling of everybody around you cuts out that conversation, and it just ultimately becomes one of those fragrances that allures the ladies to you. It's seductive, sweet rum with vanilla, tobacco, and leather. Initio Perfumes has struck a hit, struck a chord. Ask any female once you put it on your skin what you smell like. The ultimate words that's going to come from her mouth is delicious. That's what I've heard. That's what I stand on, and that's what I'm telling y'all. Today, with the date night scenario for a lounge, going out, bar, rooftops, Side Effect from the House of Initio Perfumes is the one to go to, especially in this type of weather where the environment is outside. You got a nice jacket on, even a vest. You know, we got Pima cotton, we got cashmere, these type of things. This scent permeates through that sweater, cuts back on the contrast of some of the tobacco sweetness, but also giving that appeal to what it is that the pheromone you're giving off. Head turner. You're going to get compliments with this one. You guys know that. I ain't telling y'all nothing. Side Effect from the House of Initio. It's the scent of lounge nights out. Ladies and gentlemen, next up by Killian, Back to Black, Back to Back. These fragrances by Killian are always nose killers. For me, one of the best in my collection when it comes to date night performers, when I want to wear an upscale outfit, when I want to wear something with elegance, something that really draws in the intrigue, something that very much so calls to my refined style that I'm wearing that evening. Cruel Intentions. I know tons of you guys have not heard of this fragrance. It's one that's so far back in the radar, but you trust me. Get your nose, especially if you're a person who loves rose-centric perfumes for the evening out. If you're going to wear a two-piece or three-piece suit, blazer, ascot, this is the fragrance for you guys. This is the one, the rose oud combination that you have yet to hear about. Trust me. When I talk about Cruel Intentions, the name tells it all. You have intent to deliver. Everything about this fragrance is smoky, it's sweet, it's warm, it's seductive. It has a bit of aromatic touch to it. It's this rose centifolio with the rose accord of Bulgarian rose. Oud is in this one, just a seductive use of warm, woody, smoky papyrus that comes off like a cypriol oil, but it's papyrus that very, it's a piercing, cutting woodiness, but just ultimately it smells very inviting. Every single time you wear this around the right crowd, you're going to get heads turning. The sweetness comes from a sweet vanilla along with the backbone of guaiac wood, woody, powdery, oudy, rosy, leather, and aromatic. Every single one of those type of compounds checks the box for an evening out when you're going upscale. Bow tie, check. Tuxedo, check. This is the one, especially as we're stating we're going into the fall and winter wear season. Cruel Intentions. Get your nose on it, fellas. This is the one. Rose oud combination with a guaiac wood and vanilla backbone. That papyrus lays as a veil over this one and just gives you the ultimate in contrast to everyone around you who's trying to wear something of an aromatic or sauvage or things of that nature. Cut it out. We're going Cruel Intentions today. Tempt me. House by Killian. Get your nose on that one too. Ladies and gentlemen, I hope you guys enjoyed this particular content. This is my video for you guys today. This was my attempt to bring something of a bit of an intrigue to the tag videos that we got out here today. This was for me something, if not adding a seductive realm to it, adding a bit of intrigue, mystery, a little bit of je ne sais quoi to the actual conversation about some of these fragrances, because all of us as gentlemen, we're trying to just snatch noses and pull necks, and then at the end of the day, that's what these fragrances are doing. Tell that story, fellas. So this was me introducing you to one in particular I want you guys to really ultimately try to get your nose on, and that's Cruel Intentions by the House by Killian, a slept on formula that you won't be you will be intrigued by, be the most interesting in the room with that particular scent, because no one else has made that particular formula the way that Killian made it. So at the end of the day, I hope you guys enjoyed this and this content, and if you did, all I ever ask that you do, hit the like button, subscribe. I'm going to send the tag out to as many people as I can think, and then thank the men that actually tagged me in this one. There was quite a few of you. So until next video, you guys have a wonderful day and the best weekend. Peace.